Have you pickled asparagus? If not, you're missing out on one of the most wonderful things you can do with those tender young spears. They're tangy, they're crunchy, and they make the best addition to Bloody Marys or a charcuterie board. The best part? If you grow your own, you don't have to spend tons of money making that pickled perfection. Once you've tasted homegrown asparagus, whether you grill it or roast it or even pickle it, you will never want to buy one of those rubbery grocery store spears again. Hi, I'm Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let's talk asparagus.
Before we get into the planting process, let's talk about what you're actually planting. When you grow asparagus, you typically start with what's called a crown. An asparagus crown is essentially the root system of a 1 or 2 year old asparagus plant. If you were to look at one, you'd see a central point where the shoots will emerge with thick, fleshy roots radiating out like the legs of an octopus or a spider. These roots are what store all the energy the plant needs to produce those tender spears we love to eat. You can grow asparagus from seed, I have, but I'm going to be honest with you, starting from crowns saves you about a year or two of waiting. Since you're already looking at 2 to 3 years before your first real harvest, most gardeners choose to start with crowns to get a head start. So where do you actually get these crowns? When you're looking for where to buy asparagus crowns, you have several good options. Many local garden centers carry asparagus crowns in early spring, which is traditional planting time. Notice I said local garden centers, not big box stores. It's actually my preferred option to go to the garden centers because you can see the quality of the crowns before you buy them. Look for crowns that have thick, firm roots without any mushy or dried out areas. You can also order crowns online from reputable seed companies and specialty nurseries. Companies like Johnny's Selected Seeds, Burpee, or Gurney's all carry quality asparagus crowns. The advantage of ordering online is that you'll often find a wider variety selection. Some popular varieties to consider are Jersey Night, which is an all-male variety that produces more heavily, or Purple Passion if you want something a little different. Male plants produce more spears because they're not putting energy into seed production, so many gardeners prefer all-male varieties. Just make sure when you order that you're timing it right for your planting zone. The crown should arrive in early spring when the soil is workable, but before things get too warm. Now let's talk about how to grow asparagus using different methods. You have 2 main options, in-ground beds or raised beds, and both can work beautifully. The method you choose really depends on your garden setup and soil conditions. Growing asparagus in-ground is the traditional method, and it works wonderfully if you have good drainage and decent soil. Asparagus absolutely hates wet feet, so if your garden tends to stay soggy or you have heavy clay soil, you'll want to seriously consider the raised bed method instead. In-ground planting gives the roots unlimited room to spread, which asparagus really appreciates. These plants develop extensive root systems, and the more room they have, the more productive they'll be over the years. Raised beds are fantastic for asparagus if you're dealing with poor drainage, compacted soil, or if you just want more control over your growing conditions. A raised bed that's at least 12 inches deep works well, though 18 inches is even better. The key is making sure the bed is filled with loose, well-draining soil amended with plenty of compost. The elevated bed ensures water drains away quickly, which keeps your crowns happy and prevents root rot. Whether you're planting in-ground or in raised beds, soil preparation is crucial. These asparagus growing tips will help you set up your bed for long-term success. Remember, you're creating a permanent bed that will produce for decades, so it's worth taking the time to do it right. Start by choosing a spot that gets full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily. Asparagus can tolerate partial shade, but you'll get the best production in full sun. Make sure that this is a location where the asparagus can stay permanently. You don't want to be moving it in a few years because you decided to put a shed there or expand your patio. The soil needs to be loose and well draining with a pH between 6.5 and 7.5. Work in several inches of finished compost or well-rotted manure to a depth of at least 12 inches. I also like to add some organic fertilizer at this stage, something balanced or slightly higher in phosphorus to encourage strong root development. If you're working with heavy clay, consider mixing in some coarse sand or perlite to improve drainage. I've created a free organic vegetable fertilizer quick guide for you to download. Have a look in the description to find that link to the free product. All right, now for the actual planting process. When you're ready to plant, dig a trench about 6 to 8 inches deep and about 12 to 18 inches wide. Some people go with the traditional method of digging trenches up to 12 inches deep, but I've found that 6 to 8 inches works just fine, and it's a lot less backbreaking. Space your trenches about 3 to 5 feet apart if you're planting multiple rows. This gives you room to walk between the rows for harvesting and maintenance. Within each trench, you'll space your crowns about 12 to 18 inches apart. Some sources say you can go closer, but since these plants will fill in quickly, you'll appreciate, and so will they, the extra room. At the bottom of your trench, create little mounds of soil about every 12 to 18 inches. These are where your crowns will sit. Place each crown on top of a mound with the roots draped down over the sides and the growing point facing upward. This is important. You want that central bud pointing towards the sky. Now here's where people often get confused. You don't fill the trench completely right away. Cover the crowns with about 2 to 3 inches of soil initially. As the spears begin to grow over the next few weeks, you'll gradually fill in the trench with more soil until it's level with the surrounding ground. This gradual filling encourages the development of a strong root system at the proper depth. During that first growing season, your job is simple. Let those asparagus plants grow without harvesting anything. I know it's tempting when you see those beautiful spears emerging, but resist. The plant needs to put all its energy into establishing a strong root system. Let the spears grow into their full ferny foliage. This foliage is like solar panels, collecting energy that gets stored in the roots for next year's production. Keep the bed weeded, especially in that first year. Asparagus doesn't compete well with weeds when it's young. A thick layer of mulch helps tremendously with weed suppression and moisture retention. I use about 3 to 4 inches of organic mulch like straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips, keeping it pulled back a few inches from where the spears emerge. Water consistently during dry spells, especially in that first year. You want to keep the soil evenly moist, but never waterlogged. Once the plants are established, they're relatively drought tolerant, but consistent moisture in those early years really helps them get established. In the second year, you can do a very light harvest, maybe just 1 or 2 spears per each plant over a 2-week period in spring. Then let the rest grow out into foliage again. It's still building that root system. Year 3 is when harvest gets great. This is when you can begin a full harvest that lasts about 6 to 8 weeks. In spring, when the soil temperature reaches about 50 degrees, those spears will start popping up. Harvest them when they're about 6 to 8 inches tall and the tips are still tight. Once the tips start to open and look feathery, they're past their prime for eating. After your harvest period ends, let all subsequent spears grow into their ferny foliage for the summer. This is absolutely necessary for next year's production. In fall, after the foliage turns yellow and dies back naturally, cut it down to about 2 inches above the ground and remove it from the garden. This helps prevent disease and pest issues from overwintering. Each spring before the spears emerge, I like to side dress the bed with compost or a balanced organic fertilizer. Asparagus is a heavy feeder, and this annual feeding keeps the plants vigorous and productive. After your harvest period, apply another light feeding to support the foliage growth. Once your asparagus bed is established, it's remarkably low maintenance. Keep it weeded and mulched. Refresh that mulch layer each spring. Continue with the annual fertilizing routine. Watch for asparagus beetles in summer. These are the main pest you'll encounter. They're easy to spot with their metallic blue-black color and orange markings. Hand-pick them off and destroy any eggs you see on the foliage. In a few years, you might notice that your spears are getting thinner. This can be a sign that the bed is getting overcrowded. Asparagus will naturally spread over time. You can divide overcrowded beds in early spring before spears emerge, but most gardeners find it easier to just start a new bed and let the old one gradually decline after a couple of decades of production.
So there you have it. That's what you need to know to start your very own asparagus bed. Yes, it does take a little bit of patience up front. You do have to wait a while to harvest, but once it gets established, you will have asparagus for many, many years, and you'll fill your pantry with those wonderful spears that are ready for fresh eating and for preservation. Until next time, start looking for some asparagus in your garden catalogs or in your garden centers, and then let's get growing.